Welcome to Through the Mirror. My name is Tracy Wallach, and I'm your host. I have got the privilege of having a wonderful friend that's like a sister to me, Mercedes Greenberg, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about her business. We are in December, and it's so crazy to think that we are less than a month from Christmas. And so I want to talk about small businesses today. And again, Mercedes, we're going to talk about your business, Bleugypsy. So, talk a little bit about you, who you are, how you got started on your own business.
Well, so my journey to design, jewelry design started like way before I even like thought about it. Probably as a younger girl growing up in Venezuela, I love to see the hippies, artists crafting jewelry in the streets. They made gorgeous like pieces out of like just like copper wire,
Mm.
and I bought a lot of those like little pieces. Every time I had like some money, I would go and buy me like some. So that definitely was like very inspiring to me, and probably that was like my inspiration. Um, Years after my first years in Venezuela, I came to the United States. I came to study at the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale and graphic design. And one day, looking for art supplies, I ran into a roll of copper wire.
Oh, wow.
And that threw me back in the past, like when I used to see like those guys like working the wire and making like such beautiful jewelry out of them. And I decided to buy one and start playing with it.
Mm.
So I did that.
Okay.
That day, I made my first couple of earrings that I
Mm-hmm.
wore proudly to the Art Institute the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting compliments like right away. Um, Love the compliments. Love the idea of, what if I start making these earrings to sell, which I did.
Wow. How old were you at this time?
So I was 20, I was like 20,
Okay.
and I had never had a job. I mean, I came here to study, and the idea of like making money out of like something that I love to do was like awesome. So sure enough, I started making my earrings. Students and staff love my earrings. I had this like lady that she was like, I don't know, she was staff, and I love pulling into her office, and whatever I show her, she will buy.
Oh,
So
wow. I'd like to own a business that does that
yeah,
too.
right. Me too. I need to find it again. But that was like pretty much the start of my creating jewelry. So the years went by. I got married. I graduated, obviously. I got married. I had a baby. And soon after that, my husband was diagnosed with colon cancer. It was when my daughter like got like 2.5. Sadly, he passed away. And
Okay.
oops, I don't want to get sad.
No, you're okay if you do. I think our listeners can probably empathize with you and probably
Well,
have experienced that as
we all
well.
have somebody there
Yes.
that is not with us anymore. And I had to, I think I was like 38, and I had to like think of like something. I needed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been doing graphic art like in a while because all the time that my husband was sick, I spent the like going to doctor appointments, taking care of my baby. So I left that behind.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend of mine told me about the job that she had with like a used car magazine, and told me that I would be like great at it, to give it a try, offer me the job, and I jumped into it. Why not? And it didn't take me long to realize that
It wasn't for
that
you.
wasn't for me at all. But at the same time, I had been going to this a wonderful place in Miami called the Miami Mart. In there, I found like the most beautiful little pieces of jewelry that were so affordable. So I started going there frequently and buying like pieces for myself. And all the time that I was like working, going to car dealers, and I had a team of like girls. Everybody was like a girl in there selling to this like selling the magazine. They loved the jewelry that I was like wearing. So once again, I saw the opportunity, and I was like, why not to monetize this? So I got me like a shoebox, bought a few, bought a few pieces, and started bringing them to work. And every day at the end of like the work day and check, doing like everything that was related to work, the girls were, let's see what's in that shoebox today. Started selling my little jewelry to them. Started doing other things. Like I used to go to this like local bar where it was like friends. Like I knew everybody there. I knew the patrons. I knew the bartenders. I knew everybody there. And I would go there with my little shoebox.
I love it. That's fantastic.
And it happened kind of as a coincidence. Like, it just like happened that I pulled it out one day. The bartender girls like. The bartender boy said, "I'll buy it for you." And I was like, "Yay."
Oh, so wait a second, Mercedes. Then all of a sudden you became a matchmaker. Is this what I'm hearing from you?
Kind of. You can call it that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So obviously I loved it. I started visiting the bar every day. I went from having my stuff in the shoebox to displaying my stuff in the bar
Wow.
until, of course, like one day the owners of the bar said, "Okay, Mercedes, this is not a jewelry store. This is a bar."
Well, let me ask you a question because I think this is what my listeners really want to hear, though. Were you just selling in the bar, or were you also drinking, having conversations, and selling in the bar? How did that work out for you?
So I was doing all of the above.
Excellent. Okay, so what's the problem?
It was like awesome, but I don't know. I mean, think about it. You have a bar, and all of a sudden, this like girl comes shyly with like a little box, and before you know, she has like stuff all over the bar, no place for the drinks or
Drinks.
anything, and
I
they're
gotcha.
like, "Wait a second, this cannot go
Okay,
on."
that makes sense now.
So they put a stop on me. But that was my inspiration, and from there, I went on to visiting stores, into doing shows, art shows, um, house parties, holiday parties, like, and it went on and on and on. And oh my God, like, so many cute things that happened. Like, I used to go J. Alexander's
Oh, yes, in Boca.
in Boca, was like brand new.
Yes.
You couldn't go in there like without waiting for 2 hours. Well, those girls bought my jewelry, and guess what?
Wow.
I used to go there, and I didn't have to wait 5 minutes. I was seated. I was comped because they love me.
Because you were bringing in clients to them. So were the people coming to see the jewelry and then eating, or were they coming to eat and you just happened to be the great addition?
No, I guess I'm not explaining myself that well. No, the girls, the waitresses, the hostess,
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
they were the ones buying my jewelry.
so
So they
smart.
like me.
Oh, so smart. So can you do that again? I've been trying to get in a couple of restaurants.
We can try.
Okay.
You want to come with me?
Sure,
Yeah,
let's try
sure.
it out.
Let's try it.
All right.
So yeah, um, from back in, when was that? It wasn't even like the year 2000. I was like buying, selling jewelry. I was like doing great. I was like having a great time. But I started looking at some pieces, and I was like, this has a beautiful component, but it's not well made. I started like breaking pieces, adding like my own things, and changing them a little. A lot of that went on, and I realized that I really like what I was like doing. I started designing things now. I'm breaking things apart, making my own jewelry. Um, some time went by, and I started creating my own jewelry. I now make like 80% of what I sell, and I still buy things, rings, earrings to
Right.
resell, but like I make a lot of my jewelry, which I'm very proud of because I'm one person doing it. I don't have any help. Um, I can only like make so many pieces.
Right.
And whoever like owns my jewelry, there's not many more people that have it.
It's
Like
one of a kind.
it's like one of a kind.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
unique.
Yeah. So a lot of stories that I can tell you about all those years, but that's basically the story
The
of my
gist of it.
business.
Okay. So tell me about the name Blue Gypsy. Where did that come from?
So I, at some point, fell in love with some French guy.
Oh, now we're starting to get to the real reason of jewelry.
Well, it's not
Juicy.
that
Juicy jewelry. Go
juicy
ahead.
jewelry. Yeah, right. That will be like
New
my next name.
name. You never know.
Um, I like to say bleu. I don't even
Bleu.
know if I can say it right, but I was like, okay, I gotta come up with a name. I want it to be Blue Moon. It exists. I want it to be like Blue Angel. I want it to be like Blue whatever. Everything was taken, but
Right.
Blue Gypsy wasn't taken. So I became Blue Gypsy.
And there it began. So, over the years, you started out with this dream, and over the years, it became more and more. What would you say is the biggest obstacle you had to overcome from when you began your jewelry business to now? What's the biggest obstacle you had to face?
Well, as a designer and the venues that I ever like use like to sell, you have good days and you have bad days.
Hmm.
When you have good days and everybody is like buying like crazy, you're like, oh my God, I'm a genius. I'm the best designer in the whole world. My prices are great. My things are gorgeous. Like everybody loves them. But then there are like times that nobody like buys. I mean, it happened.
Right.
And then you kind of like lose confidence. I think, you think like maybe my product is not that great anymore. There's so much competition. Um, Maybe it's time to think about something else.
Mm.
Um, Other than that, honestly, like it's been a great pleasure to me. Besides loving what I do, I love to sit home and make my little pieces.
Mhm.
I love to create something new, and I'm like, oh my God, take a picture and show it to my daughter. Like, look what I just like came up with. Um, I love the fact that I have met so many new, beautiful people that started as a client, and I can
Mhm.
call friends now. It's been a great experience, I have to say. Um, I am not like a great entrepreneur or anything like that, but I love what I do. I really like it.
You say you're not such a great entrepreneur, but I do have to tell you, and I love the fact that not only podcasts, where if you're one of our viewers and you're listening to the podcast, you can always tune in to YouTube and also Facebook, Instagram. You'll be able to see live some of the videos because Chuchi, I call you Chuchi. Sorry, guys, that's a
Okay,
nickname.
that's a
I'm
problem.
so sorry. We won't
That
call her
name is
that.
in buried.
Mercedes, Mercedes, that is buried, and we'll probably clip that out. But I don't
That's
know. We'll
okay.
have to
You can
see
leave it.
Ben if he
We'll
wants to
see.
do that.
People start calling me Chuchi.
Right? No, don't. I prefer to keep my neck on top of my head. But Mercedes, you have a lot of great pieces, and
Thank you.
I would love to say that we've got Christmas around the corner, Hanukkah around the corner, which, by the way, it's Christmaka this year. They are literally on top of one another, but people are already looking at, more than likely, looking at Valentine's Day if they celebrate Valentine's Day. We may even go to
Wow.
Easter right now, especially the way the retail industry is. But you have some great pieces. What would you say, if you had to look at your pieces right now, what would you say is one of the inspirational pieces or that men or women look at and say, oh my God, I have to have that? Do you have any
Well,
pieces
yeah,
there that,
absolutely.
okay.
Actually, I happen like to be wearing my little heart.
Come over a little to the side if you don't mind. There we go. So we'll see that beautiful heart piece.
Okay,
Excellent.
that beautiful heart piece. That's like one of my best sellers. It's made out of the chain, looks like chain, but it's like little crystal. and the bigger
Excellent.
bead is like hematite. I love working with crystal, especially like because we live in Florida. We're usually like sweating or about to start sweating, or we have been sweating. And
Sounds like that's a consistent word here, everyone.
yeah,
Sweating.
sweating.
That
Thank you
is
for
sweaty Florida.
yes. So crystal is one of those materials that don't lose the shine, that it can be wet. It can be wet with sweat or whatever,
Oh,
and
wow.
always like looks good. So I love to work with crystal,
Okay.
and maybe that's like one of the reasons this piece, like I said, is one of my favorite pieces. Not because it's my favorite, but because it's like my customer's favorite. I have it in different colors, different sizes, different versions.
Right.
Um, of course, I would love to meet you, listeners, at some point and show you all of my pieces. But
You have one in particular that I see that you wear a lot, and I'm in love with it. And it's on your wrist. It's this
oh,
beautiful blue. And this is by far my favorite piece. And I know the
so
audience is unable to see it, but it
ah,
shines and it's almost think of when you're really excited as a child, you would get your eyes would twinkle. And just think of something that you fall in love with something and your eyes twinkle. That is exactly what that bracelet is doing. It's twinkling. Tell me about that
oh.
piece.
Well, that piece it's interesting that you said that. The color that I chose today, that blue, um, I sell through a chain of stores called Revival. One of them in Delray Beach, the manager there, she's a very beautiful, particular girl. She's a very interesting girl. I love her, Ali. She made this bracelet her store bracelet. She
Wow, that's incredible.
the blue beads on this bracelet were her signature for that one store. I love them. Thank you for telling me that you love them too. I guess you'll be getting like some.
Oh, good.
Um,
Christmas is right around the corner.
there you
Tracy, I was
go.
just going to also say to your listeners, if you want to see all of this, go on YouTube, you know.
It's Instagram, right? I think it's your Instagram
Yeah,
account
it is
too.
Well, to
Oh,
see
Instagram.
online
yes.
right now
Yes.
live, but yes,
Right.
definitely to see her Instagram as well. You know, give her information out.
Absolutely. You can
Definitely.
find me at Bleugypsy. You can DM me like if you want a particular piece I made like longer, made in a different color. You want to customize it. Remember, I make my jewelry, so I can do that for you. Also, my prices are really good. We're not going to talk about prices here, but they are really good.
Right.
I'm very affordable. So
And then remember, it's blue. Bleu.
it's a
So
blue, a blue.
Bleugypsy, correct?
Yes,
And it's
make
all
sure
one word?
it is one word.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And Ben, thank you. I had the best producer in the world. Ben always reminds me to say certain things. And hey, guys, anybody could do podcasting, especially when you have a great producer like Ben, just saying.
And praise a great host like you.
Oh,
Like, oh
thank
my
you.
God.
You're so sweet. Thanks. I want to see some more pieces if you don't mind, because I see some behind you that are beautiful. Okay, you have one behind you that just caught my eye, and I would love if you could turn around in that beautiful butterfly piece, that beautiful butterfly necklace piece.
So this butterfly
Yes, and show a little
is
higher. I don't want to take this away from you, but I want the audience to. There we go. This is stunning. And are you familiar with the butterfly and what it represents?
again,
It's
I'm a
okay.
talker, so
Right.
I can give you like way too long stories that you don't want me like
No,
to.
go ahead. I
But
do.
yeah, I there is like a lot of like beautiful things I said about like butterflies. A lot of people say that they are like your dear ones that have like already passed. Like when there's so many stories. I have a particular client that told me the sweetest like story. Like I guess they didn't have like that much money when they were like younger. Their son was like about to have a mitzvah,
Mhm.
and right, that's
A bar mitzvah, yes.
yes,
Yes.
and they needed like to get the money to give him the party.
Mhm.
So these are men that actually used to be in the same business that I am. They went and they bought like a very inexpensive crystal butterfly. They bought actually tons of them to resell.
Mhm.
And I am not really good at keeping stories, but they sold this like butterfly. They went knocking doors, like selling the butterfly. I don't remember if it was like a piece of jewelry. I think it was. And they would get like so much money like selling the butterflies, and they will go to the person that would do the party, and they will say, okay, now we have like $2,000 more, what is that gonna buy for his party? And they will like, okay, now we have like another $1,000 that we sold in
Wow.
butterflies, how much money can we afford like the dessert now?
Oh
So
God,
at the end
wow.
of the day, they sold a lot of butterflies. They had a beautiful, beautiful bat mitzvah. And she told me, she's my client, like
Mhm.
the daughter of this man. Again, she's my friend now. Uh, their, her dad like sadly like died last year
Oh
from a
God.
very weird disease.
Yeah.
And they came to me, and they have a very large family. They came and bought all kinds of butterflies for me in honor to the dad, uh,
Oh
and
wow.
in honor to that story.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Every piece has, I guess, a story. And if it doesn't have it, somebody's like gonna make it. And that's a beautiful story. And I wish I was like better telling stories.
No, oh God, no,
Butterfly.
Mercedes, Mercedes. I have to tell you, you're not only great telling stories, but I can speak for myself. I feel it, and I know our listeners feel it as well. I will tell you one of the things and why I love butterflies so much is they start in a cocoon.
Yes.
So, and they go through a process, the metamorphosis,
Yes.
metamorphize. Ben, is that metamorphosis?
I
We
think you're
don't
right. Metamorphosis.
meta
Yeah.
meta meta. We
I mean,
don't,
I can. Let's
yeah.
see.
Like Ben's gonna look that up. Stay tuned for the correct way of saying a butterfly goes from a cocoon to a butterfly. What it means to me and what I love about this piece so much is butterflies go through a process, a growth process,
Yes.
if you will. And so they're hatching, they're in their cocoon, and then eventually they grow out of their cocoon and they're free to fly. And that's what I think about with butterflies. And so this piece and why it's so attractive is it's sitting on the necklace, but it's off to the side almost. And to me, it makes me feel like the butterfly is just flying, like I'm flying away with the butterfly. And it's
Aw.
beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Again, for our listeners, definitely you want to look at YouTube if you can, but again, it's Bleugypsy, Bleugypsy, all one word on Instagram. And Mercedes has a lot of her pieces there. This one is just absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Really
I
is.
got the pronunciation for you. Here we
Okay,
go.
let's go.
Metamorphosis.
You were right.
All right.
Metamorphosis. My mother would be so proud of me. All right. Okay, so what would you give? Did I ask this? Because, okay, guys, so I'm just going to be really honest with you. 51, going through, I think we call it premenopause. I'm going to just say menopause or post, because if I say post, maybe the universe will hear me and it'll just rush the process through and I could be on the back end of it. What advice would you give someone starting off in their own business, wanting to start a small business? What's one thing that you wish you would have been told or that you can offer advice to somebody starting out?
Well, I think my advice would be like to really want it. And once you decide that that's the road you're going to take, go for it. Go for it with everything you have. There are going to be like moments that you think that maybe you made the wrong decision, but stay with it. If you have enough love, if you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to succeed. That's what I think.
Yeah. If you can go back to your younger self and
Oh,
give your younger, listen, we all want to go back in time.
yeah.
There's so much music wrapped
Yes.
around that. But if you can go back to your younger self, knowing what you know now about the business, knowing what you know now about life, if you can go back to your younger self and give one piece of advice, what would that be?
To myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Um, I don't know. I wish Maybe I started earlier than I did. I wish I started like creating my own pieces like before I did. But every journey is like a personal thing. Um, well, I'm talking to myself, right? I think I'm pretty happy with like the way things like happen. Um, I have never like really like asked myself that question, to be honest. I am very thankful for everything that I was able to create, all the beautiful people that I met. Actually, that's like one of the most incredible things that happen in this side business. You meet people all the time, but this had made me talk to people that I would never like talk to, listen to stories that I would never be interested until you're interested, talk to people that I would be like, never talk to you. And I love them now. So, yeah, a lot of like beautiful experiences thanks to my little jewelry designing business.
What I love about you is how authentic you are.
Oh,
And just listening to you and looking at you, I've got tears in my eyes now.
oh,
And I feel like with you, you're honest and you have integrity and your morals are there. But more importantly, I just looking at your jewelry too, I take it as every piece of jewelry you create is a piece of you and a piece of love and a piece of hard work and caring. And it shows.
thank
It really
you. Thank you
does.
so much. It is. It is. Like every piece that I make, I love it. It's like funny because like sometimes it happens that I had something in my box sitting for a while and I see it and I'm like, I don't love you anymore. And I
Okay.
just take it out. Bye. You had your
Oh, wait, stop, stop. Okay, first, let's start off and say for all the listeners listening out there, I get first dibs. So let's just make that clear. So when I am going to give you Chuchi's information, oh my God, I did it again. I am so sorry. All right, so no one's allowed to call her this. I will be very transparent right now. I have the most beautiful, beautiful man ever that I met that I am madly in love with, and his name is Carlos. And Carlos is Mercedes' brother. And that is
and I
a
agree with you.
yes.
He's a
And
wonderful guy.
oh God, he is. And it's so endearing. The first time that he mentioned Mercedes' nickname, which starts CH, but we're not going to do it anymore. But when he mentioned it, I don't know, I just connected with it. It came from love. It came so endearing, and I just kind of adopted it. And I guess you sort of have to adopt me now because I adopted it.
It's very easy to do, so
Oh,
don't worry about it. You're
okay. Don't make me cry
long
now.
time adopted,
There
so
we
don't
go.
worry about that.
Well, that's your whole family, and I say that because I think or I know your jewelry is made with love and attention, and that nickname comes with love and attention, and so I repeat it. But Mercedes will give you her information in 1 second, and you never know. Maybe you can have a conversation with her. What's her favorite piece? And what she may feel is not her favorite piece, maybe your favorite piece. So
True.
definitely, definitely, I'd say, tune in. So if you can give our listeners your information, how can they find you again? Can they call you? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, probably the best way to connect with me will be through Instagram. Um, Again, my name is Bleugypsy. You see it on that box. Um, you can DM me. There is my phone number in there too. You can text me. I love people. Again, I will be like very happy to talk to you, to uh, accommodate your needs. Um, if you want to customize anything, we can do that. So feel free to contact me via text, via Instagram, and I hope to hear from you.
So thank you. Thank you for your time. I think the most important thing I can share with our audience, and I say our because any of my guests here are part of me and part of my podcast. My podcast is near and dear. It took me a long time to show up. So everybody I bring on is intentional. I want to establish that. More importantly, I would love for you all to take some time and look at your local small businesses. They're who we need in this world to thrive. They are who we need to purchase from them. We've got a lot of great companies out there, a lot of great businesses. I promise you, they will not fail. They've been succeeding all these years, but it is very important during the holiday season to support our small local businesses. Not only do they appreciate us, but their pieces are amazing, whether it be jewelry, whether it be food, whether it be anything at all. Make sure to take some time and support them. So I'd love, again, to thank you for your time. This is so valuable. It means so much to me. And you're going to see Mercedes again on other conversations as we continue on in life. She is a lifelong sister from a different mister. You will see a lot of her as part of my family. And I'd love to hear from you, my listeners. I would love to take some time and hear from you. If you have a small business that you want me to do a shout out for, please let me know what it is. You can contact me at throughthemirror24@gmail.com. You can also find me on Spotify, on YouTube. I'll be on Instagram, on Facebook, any social media. And if I'm not on the social media of choice, that means I may not know about that social media. Feel free to just contact me via email and tell me about a new social media that's come out to theater near us. Um, Again, thank you so much, Mercedes. Appreciate your time. And make sure that you like and comment. I would love a 5-star review on Apple. This is a new podcast. You will continue to hear so much from me and meet so many of my family and friends. And thank you. Thank you for your time. Happy holidays. Make sure to be safe out there, everyone. Don't drink and drive. Yes, I'm your local mother that is going to say that. There are so many Ubers out there. And
Yeah.
listen, right? And listen, the
Yes.
Uber drivers are small business owners too.
Yeah.
Consider that. You're helping them and make sure to tip them nicely. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again on Through the Mirror.
Thank you so much for having me.